Awesome. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. And I mean, who else is happy that these calls are making a bit of a comeback over this season? They've always been a favorite of mine. I think the beautiful feminine power that we have inside this space is just unmatched. So I love getting to play with a little bit of the woo-woo, a little bit of the fun, a little bit of the soulfulness, getting back into the nature of that. So today, when I was brainstorming of what type of topics I would like to talk about, because there's so many, one of the biggest things for me is a miracle mindset. And to some, that might sound really, I guess, floaty, but it's been such a core strength in the entire nature of my life. And it has transformed so many things that I really want to talk to you guys a little bit more about what that looks like and how to cultivate it, right? So basically, when I talk about having a miracle mindset, I'm talking about taking yourself out of fear and choosing love more often. Taking yourself, taking ownership and being able to come from an energy, a frequency, a disposition of feeling like you're contributing more to your inner peace and your happiness than you are your stress meters and your frustration. Does that make sense? Two totally different waves. And one you can generate a lot of better feelings from. So that's what I call a miracle mindset, is shifting as fast and as often from the fear mindset to the love mindset that you know can generate more goodness in your life. Now, who else would really love to be able to have more happiness and connection in their day-to-day? Drop a 2 in the chat box, because 2 is my favorite number ever. If you know for certain that you would love to see more happiness and more connection in your life, and you know that that would generate a better sense of well-being for you. Yeah, absolutely. And who else has gotten to a stage in life where they have just felt so disconnected? Anyone else? You know all the right things, you know all the things you should be doing, but you just feel so disconnected. So this to me is where having the whole concept of a miracle mindset has been such a great help to me. All right. So when we look at miracles, it's literally, you have to become a miracle finder. There are miracles everywhere. And when we look at miracles, we can look at the literal miracles of, somebody being so ill on the brink of death and then coming back to life. That's a beautiful, big miracle, right? Or you can look at the tiny little miracles that are happening inside your body every day. The fact that your heart is pumping away without you even realize, to move blood around to your different organs that are needed, right? That are needed for you to be able to breathe, to talk, to move, to communicate, to hug, and to love your loved ones. So there's so many different varying degrees of miracles, but when we focus on them, we can create more. It's that old law of attraction. Where our focus goes, our energy grows. And I think that that is so powerful, particularly when we look at our Juice Plus business. It can feel very stressful and very frustrating at times because you're starting something new and you're building something. Whenever you are building something, it can feel heavy. However, if we come from a space of, okay, that feels great, not, feels yucky, feels stressful, feels heavy, I'm going to change my mindset and I'm going to search for the miracles here. When we do that, we can create such a better existence, and we can all create more success as well. Does that make sense? Have I explained how I perceive miracles to you guys enough? To me, it is something that just shifts you from here to here, right? We can be looking at, so a miracle to me could be, I'm sitting here feeling like, okay, I'm going to give you an example of a fresh miracle. Some of you guys know that last week I launched a new brand that's felt really exciting for me, but also really heavy, because it's a whole new scope and a whole new thing. And, I just have so much love and capacity for Juice Plus that adding something else on actually felt a little bit like, oh, do I have to? But I knew it needed to be done. And I was sitting in the kitchen and I was feeling all the fears. What if nobody buys it? What if I've wasted all this money? What if I can't contribute the way that I want to? I was thinking all of those things, right? And my daughter comes up to me, and try and say this without getting teary, and she hands me a handmade card. And the handmade card on it says, "Mum, you're my inspiration." And she's cut out a little, I know, right? She's cut out a little square. And when I open it, a little love heart pops out. And inside there, she's got, your clothes are fantastic. I can't believe how much work you've put in this. I feel so proud to be your daughter. To me, that's a miracle, right? And whichever way that was sent, it took me from feeling frustrated to feeling, oh, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing the right thing. So that's a miracle. Now, there's 3 different ways that miracles are going to appear, but I'm going to get to that later. But to give you an example of a tangible, okay, cool, I'm on the right track. Here's my miracle. I've found it. And, you know, I like to think of this almost as miracle work. And I'd be very mindful here because one of my favorite miracle workers in the whole existence of humans is Jesus. And I think that he is insanely connected and talented, and obviously has a lot more help than the majority of us. But I love the way that he really took things that were difficult and he created miracles, right? So that analogy to me is really, really special. Can we do that as humans? Absolutely. It might not look as divine and it might not look as deep and impressive, but can we still do it? Absolutely. He even talks about it, right? So I think that it's almost a rite of passage that we become miracle workers as often as we can to not only help us, but to help the people around us. So let me say, one of my favorite quotes around this is Wayne Dwyer, and he actually says that heaven on earth is a choice, not a destination to find. And to me, that's really exciting because when we come into this business, we're excited about growth. We're excited about vision. We're excited about where we're going. So often so that sometimes we focus so heavy on the vision that we forget to be present and we forget to find miracles right here and now, right? We forget to think what we're excited for, what we're grateful for, how to find love, how to cultivate forgiveness, how to bring those things to right here, because it will actually call the vision in quicker. Yeah. So I'm going to give you some examples of how we can actually create and cultivate more of a miracle mindset. The first one is witnessing. Where there is fear, there can't be love, right? And they're 2 completely different pages. Where there is fear, there can't be love, and love conquers all. We know that, right? Love is the true meaning of a miracle. We can generate this business from fear as often as we want. We can try and control it. We can try and push it. We can try and dominate. We can try and compete. We can try to do all of those heavy things that are generated from fear. And we quite often do. It doesn't feel great and it doesn't get the same results as when we shift our mindset and we come from a place of love. Yeah. So what's the quickest way to get there? Because people are like, yeah, well, that sounds amazing, but how the fuck do I make it happen? Right? What we have to do is we have to hit our fear head on. And that is our first part of witnessing, right? So there's 2 W's that cultivate a miracle mindset. The first one is witness. We witness where our fear is, right? Now play along with me on this because each one of you are going to have a different flavor of fear. When we look at fear, most of us have been around the personal development world long enough to know that fear basically is just a whole cultivation of belief clouds, limiting belief clouds. And we've picked them up over time doing all sorts of weird things. But when you look at your success, let's look at our Juice Plus business for now, right? What is your biggest fear around your Juice Plus business? If you feel brave, I would love you to pop it in the comments because I would love people to see that they're not alone in their doubts, their worries, right? When we start to think about fears, they're prevalent. Absolutely. Let's have a little bit of a look at what we've got. That I can't hold what I'm building, failing, right? That you're not enough, that you won't be the leader that you need, that people will judge you, that you'll be rejected, that you're not capable, right? Actually succeeding, that's a huge one. There's a massive fear of success for a lot of us, that we can't help the people that we want to, that you have to put yourself out more to be successful, right? There are so many fears. And off the back of that, thank you for throwing some of those out there. Tell me what it feels like when you are behaving and generating action from this limiting belief. What does it feel like? heavy. Yeah. Heavy, hard. Yeah. Resistance, restricting, draining, slow, impossible. Yes. So can you see why actually cultivating a miracle mindset, which is a totally different page, has helped me fall deeper in love with this business every year that I'm here? And I really, really, really want to share that with you guys. So the first one, we witnessed it, we see it. Now, the thing is, you're going to have to get in the habit of witnessing these limiting beliefs every day. They're not going away. Sorry to tell you, you're going to have them to some degree because that's the nature of being human. We will cultivate limiting beliefs. We will hold them. However, what happens is we get stronger in our willingness to choose different. Now, that's our second W, is our willingness, right? So we witness, we hit the fear head on. We see it, we take away its power, and we back out. For those of you who are really brave and shared with me your limiting beliefs, is there a part of you that knows that that's bullshit? Is there a part of you that even typing that out, you're like, that's not real? Why did I type that? Why do I feel that? Why does that play on repeat in my head? And I can almost guarantee that that's everyone, right? Because we deep down know we're soulful beings. That's why I love these calls so much. Soulful women in business. That's why we say yes to this, because we know divinely that we're here to do something big. So when we are generating from fear, it is not our natural default. It doesn't feel good. It feels heavy. It feels deep. We feel resistance. We feel slow. We feel drained. And I'm going to get to a little bit later around the recipes on how to call more goodness in. All right. But we know that it's a story. Reality is that it's a story. So we witness it, and then we bring out our willingness to tap into our soul, to tap into that part of us that speaks the absolute truth, that doesn't have time for limiting beliefs, that doesn't play in a fear realm, the part of us that was born pure and still is pure to this day, the part that cannot be tapped by childhood, by past relationships, by bullying, by all of the things that might have happened over the years that have layered in these limiting beliefs. It can't be touched. Right? And it is still there, and it is still in its full force. You just have to be willing to connect to it. Now, the amazing part of that willingness is what it does is it takes us up to a consciousness level where we see new possibilities. I'm going to drop in here. This might be one for another day. But if you haven't ever read it, put E Squared by Pam Grout on your book list. E Squared. So it's just an E with a little 2 up the top, and by Pam Grout. Now, what she does is she literally encourages your willingness through 30 exercises. So what she does, I'm going to give you one of those exercises today. I want you in the next, depending how rural you live, some people live rural and they don't see a lot of cars, but for those of you who are in the vicinity where you're going to be seeing cars, I bet, and I want you to bet, I want you to create the miracle that within the next 48 hours, you're going to see a beige car. If you want to be an overachiever, make it 24 hours. Who owns a beige car here? Probably no one. I'm going to pretty much say probably no one. If you even try and think of a beige car, you're thinking, what the fuck is a beige car? Who has a beige car? They're either white, black, red, gray, right? So it's out of the realm of possibilities. Now that we've brought it into the realm of possibilities by raising our willingness, I would almost bet my life on the fact that you will find a beige car in the next 24 hours. Do you know what is so cool? And I love this because Renee's already on it. When you open your willingness to possibilities, you're already thinking gold. That's beige. I've got it, right? You're stretching out. It's not beige, it's gold. But all of a sudden, yes, it is. It's in my realm of possibilities because I can see it. And you will find so many different colors of beige, right? Because your brain is just like, yes, it's achievable. We're doing it. We're working from a willingness now to go and find it. Do you understand the two differences there? When we're playing in fear, there is no willingness. That's why it feels heavy, it feels dark, and it feels condensed. because we're almost tunnel vision of all of the lack. When we hit that head on and we decide we're going to witness it, but we're going to open up our willingness to find better and to do better, possibilities come out. What a better thing when you're in a business where you want possibilities, you want customers, you want team, right? You want those wins on the board. So when we do allow and open up our willingness, the most amazing things are findable inside our worlds. Yeah? Make sense? Playing along with me so far? All right, so we've ticked off those ones. I want to make sure that I'm going through the right way, not to confuse you, because this becomes such a default to me that when I was breaking it down, I was thinking, wow, this is actually like, it seems so dense, but it is now just so much of my psyche that it actually feels fun to break it apart. Now, the other one is, how do miracles appear? So when we're looking for the sunset beige car, right? That is going to be what we call a synchronicity. So that is basically like the divine, the powers that be, spirit, creator, God, whatever is out there in your realm, puts it in your path. And that was me standing at the sink, worrying about love is, and Lola coming to me with the card. That was a synchronicity, right? That was literally the two things meeting. Who else has ever had, like, I don't know, a spirit sign or something that they know when they receive it? Okay, cool. Me, I'm a kookaburra. If I see a kookaburra somewhere and I'm thinking about something, I'm like, okay, that's a sign for yes. That's my synchronicity. And you'll be so surprised the amount of places that a damn kookaburra has turned up when it absolutely physically shouldn't have. Butterflies. I love that. Cool. So that's a synchronicity. For a lot of us, that makes sense. What happens though is we're so deep in our fear tunnel that we haven't opened our willingness to see our spirit signs, right? To really search for the miracles, to have them land right in front of us, because we've almost got these goggles on that are just looking for everything that's wrong. All right. So once we've witnessed and we've opened our willingness, we have this endless potential to tap into miracles. The way they first will show up is synchronicities. Look for them, allow for them, right? Ask for them. The second way that they'll turn up is through inspiration. And now when I talk inspiration, I talk about a flood of good feelings. Have you ever decided that you're going to do something and it just feels so damn good you couldn't even stop it if you tried? A little scary, but it feels really good. You get this flood of almost light come through you, like, okay, cool, yes, you've got to do this. Yeah? To me, that's what I mean with inspiration. For me, it was signing my Juice Plus business. It was so far. Like, I'm so glad that I'd opened up my willingness to possibilities, because it was so far out of what I needed. So far out of what I needed. I didn't need something else to do. I most certainly didn't need to put my life out there on social media. I didn't need, a whole new community. I was already exhausted in my own community. Yeah. So if I had my fear goggles on, it would have just been like a hard no. But I was open. And what happened was the synchronicities landed, but most importantly, the inspiration flowed. Oh my God, this feels good. I could really do this. Yeah. Paired with the fear was still there, but I was willing to see that there was inspiration here as well. And now the third one, my favorite one, and when you tap into this, I really feel like you very rarely can go wrong. That's your intuition. That is like your internal portal to God, right? That's where you speak to the divine. That's where okay, cool, this feels good. I'm being told this is good, so I'm going to do it. This is one of the things that frustrates my husband the most, because he has no connection to his intuition. And sometimes my intuition tells me to do the most random things, and I don't fuck around with that anymore. If I get told to do it, I'm jumping. Even if it seems so strange. Like, even sometimes I'll be driving and I'll get the biggest intuition to go the long way. So I go the long way. Can you imagine how much that frustrates my husband, who is just pragmatic and just wants to get home on time? But I trust that intuition. If I get a feeling, no, go the other way, I'm there, right? So they're the three ways that you're going to find your flavors of miracles. Now, what I'm going to do for you guys, we're going to play a little bit in Pam Grout's world, where she talks into bringing these miracles to life. I want you, in whichever way feels good for you, I want you, whether it's prayer, whether it's meditation, whether it's, to me, like I'm gonna speak really openly about my spiritual beliefs here. Prayer is when I talk to God. Meditation is when I open my mind for God to talk to me. That's how I see those two things, right? So when I'm looking at asking for miracles, I'm praying. I'm saying, I want this. I'm ready to receive this. Show me this, right? And then I allow space for everything to happen. I close my mind down and I open it up and I receive what's coming. So what I want for you guys, in whichever way feels good, if you're not down for praying, then set an intention, create a belief bubble, do whatever you do, but please play with me. I know that you guys will because you're here on the Soulful Women's, but I want you to put out there into the tethers that there's going to be a miracle land in the next 24 hours for you. Don't put any expectation on what that looks like. We're not here to dictate. We're here to receive. But I want you to put it out there that within the next 24 hours, you are going to cultivate a miracle and it's going to be coming back to you. Now, I'm just putting some ideas out there, but this is not where we get to own them, only because some of you will be so not used to this talk that you'll be like, what the hell is a miracle, right? It could be that you land $20 on Lotto tonight, right? It could be that your friend that you haven't heard from in years calls you tomorrow. It could be that the dream job that you've wanted to get forever opens up. It could be that, I don't know, your child gets picked for an amazing ward at school. Yeah? Do you understand? It could be anything, but it is literally the snap out of fear that spirit is showing you. There's good things out there. Watch them, pay attention. And the more that you focus on them, the bigger I'm going to allow them to grow in your world. Yeah? And I want to send me messages. Like when you get these over the next 24 hours, send me messages so that I can actually feel confirmed that you guys are doing this right, because it'll be so awesome to see. Mel, I love that you just said that, because I'm going to give you the recipe of miracles right now. So we've got setting the scene, right? We witness the fear. It's normal. It's going to be there. We just witness it. We don't feel into it. And we open our willingness to go above, right? To open the connection to the three ways that miracles are going to show up. When we're willing, they're going to show up through synchronicities, through inspiration, and through intuition. That's how your miracles are going to come about. Now, to keep cultivating them, to really create a solid breeding ground in your life for miracles to just expand and generate beyond what you even thought was possible, there's three ways that we have to embrace life. And the most important one is gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude for a miracle worker. That's it. If you're not grateful, you are not going to be seeing, feeling, and achieving miracles. Yeah? We all know what gratitude is, right? Gratitude is the foundation of feeling immense pleasure, respect, appreciation for the good things in our life. Potentially not even the good things. When we look at Wayne Dwyer's quote of heaven on earth is a choice. For those of you who know my story, when I first came into Juice Plus, I was in a really crappy stage of life. I had a dangerous, abusive ex-boyfriend who I had two small children with, so I still had to somewhat co-parent, even in and around DVOs. If anybody's ever been in that, you know the fun that is. Like I'm talking, I literally had bricks thrown through my window. I had people rock up at my house threatening me. I had all sorts of things happening. And when you're inside that situation, it is so easy to have your fear goggles on, not to mention the fact that most weeks there was negative account, you know, minus $2 in my bank account. So it was very easy to put those lenses of goggles on. But why I'm so grateful for that chapter, because I knew to get out of that, I had to see something that wasn't there, because my reality was so dark and so shit that if all I lived and breathed that, I wouldn't have survived. Yeah. Has anybody else ever been in a chapter? It doesn't have to look like domestic violence. It could look like anything, right? Financial stress. It could be grief. It could be all sorts of things. But, when it's just so consuming that you have to create a different reality. You just know you have to. Otherwise, it's just flatline. Yeah. Inside that moment, I had to scrape for the miracles. I had to look at my children and just feel immense gratitude that they chose me. Even when they were driving me mental, they were here, they were my angels, they were me, they were seeing me through things. I had to look at my external support system, my mum, some of my best friends, the people that were there that were standing solid. I had to look at the fact that even though I had no money in my account, we had food in the fridge, right? I had a roof over my head. I could be resourceful, right? There were places and strategies out there that I could tap into if I needed, like the food bank, like vouchers, like beautiful churches, like beautiful play groups. There were so many things in there that I could be grateful for, and I could expand into that miracle mindset. Now, when you have nothing is the best time to cultivate gratitude. Because otherwise, who else knows somebody that has an awful lot, but is still a horrible person to be around, but still is not a fun time, but still is whinging about everything, right? Now, this is the true definition that heaven on earth is a choice. The material possessions, the money in the bank, the external things do not bring you happiness. External stimulus should never, and actually can never, create happiness or frustration. That's an inside job. So when we're cultivating gratitude and when we're playing in that realm, we really are raising the bar on our frequency of what we're allowing. We're only allowing the willingness to scrape those miracles together. I'm not giving all the bullshit attention. I am scraping my miracles together and I'm looking at them. I'm going to say this again. Some of you have already laughed about this with me. Gratitude is such a strong thing for me. In fact, in my team page, we've been together. It's almost 9 years in February that my Team Love has been together. The reason why they're called Team Love was because I so deeply had to tunnel vision my willingness to see love and not fear in a network marketing space that I named my whole team about it, right? And now my banner in my team page for that entire time has been gratitude changes everything, because that's how deeply I truly believe it does. Gratitude changes everything. Now, once when I got in a little bit of an argument with my beautiful husband, I just said, you are lacking gratitude in this situation. You're lacking gratitude and it's frustrating me. You're creating your own stress. So we have a beautiful house in the Valley of the Gold Coast. And I sent him out to our deck and I said, I want you to write 50 things you're grateful for. Just tap into it. Just feel it and let it change your state. And now he came back in about half an hour later and he was like, I feel amazing. He's like, that's so great. And then we got talking about it and we went through the list and he said, I must admit though, I did have to use Google. And I was like, you had to Google what to be grateful for. And it blew my mind that here is a grown man who has never been given permission to find gratitude for the things in his life. Mind-blowing. And I mean, Rob is an amazing human. And yes, he's had challenges, but he's actually never really felt trauma or grief. And it made me realize the trauma and the grief in my life cracked open a level of gratitude that he's never experienced. Does that make sense? So if you're inside that circle where right now things are feeling really heavy, this is recipe number one for miracles. Because the heaviness, the darkness is when you can actually create the light the most. Yeah, it's almost a blessing. It is a blessing. It's not almost, it is a blessing. Yeah, if you can create the willingness and get out of this little tunnel vision that we all have. So that is recipe number one. It's my favorite. It's my thing that I wish the world had more of, because it really does make you so much happier, because you can always scrape together the miracles. The second recipe, we got gratitude. The second recipe is forgiveness. Ooh, ooh. Who already feels a little bit of no, fuck you to the forgiveness when we've got things that we're like, I will not forgive? Yeah. I know I do. In fact, it's coming up a lot right now. None of you ever know him, and hopefully you'll never meet him. But my ex has recently, let's just get honest. My ex has recently been discharged from prison, and I have felt so great not having to deal with his chaos, and I've felt such a level of peace. And now he's back in my life, and my anger and my frustration, I feel it rising up every time he calls my girls, every time he tells them how much he loves them and misses them. And I just want to be like, no, right? I'm the parent that's been here. I want to get in my frustration. I'm the one, right? Piss off is what I want to say. But I know right there, what level am I playing at? I'm playing at my fear. I'm letting the trauma come back. I'm letting all of that darkness and that heaviness consume how I behave. Not a good spot to be in, right? So what I have to do, and when I catch myself, I allow myself that space because I'm still human, but when I catch myself and I witness that behavior, I have to open up my willingness to say no. That's his life path. Look what he gave you, right? Look what he gave you. Out of all of his mess and all of his hurts and his demons and his confusion, he gave me two incredible women. He gave me a woman that I am so proud of, right? A woman that's been to hell and back and still sees love every chance she can, because he created the situation that would crack me open. Sorry. It's a little bit of cathartic healing for me here too today. But I want you to think about who in your life right now, who in your life needs a little bit of your forgiveness? Who hasn't behaved up to your level of standard? Who has let down your expectation? Janie, I was thinking of you as soon as I saw you pop on, and I knew that this would be coming up. Right? There's people, right? Are you giving them the power of keeping you in a low fear-based level? Yeah. What could be a new story if we witnessed that and we opened our willingness to really tap into that higher level of consciousness that plays from that pure soul seat? If we were to sit in there, what could they be giving you right now? How could forgiving their behavior help you on your path to cultivate and attract more miracles? Did you? How amazing. That's perfect timing. Must be the theme. Must be the theme. And no, I think this is a really important thing, because coming up to Christmas, we're either going to be with these family members. Let's face it, a lot of the time it's family. We're either going to be with them, we're going to have to interact with them, or we're going to not be. And that hurts sometimes just as much. So honoring forgiveness at this time of season is really, really huge. Holding down the fact that, okay, cool, I'm witnessing this, I'm seeing this, but this energy is not mine. This is just my belief, but I believe that everybody comes in here with a purpose. And when I look at my ex, part of my healing was that he was specifically here. He held such a hard life to help other people level up. Whether that be me, whether that be his parents, whether that be his children, he played a really hard role. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I would hate to live his life. But the life that he has played has made so many around him choose better. So I almost have this honorable respect for what happens. If I'm playing from my soul seat, if I'm playing in my basic human bitch, I'm just like, damn, you're an idiot, right? But I can choose to do better and I can choose to play better. And I know that that's the place that cultivates more miracles for me and creates more inner peace in my life. Can you see the two realms there? The two choices that we get to make. Back to Wayne Dwyer's quote, heaven on earth is a choice. We can play in the depths of hell because God knows they're here, or we can open up to the great things that are here because they're here just as hard, just as fast, and just as apparent, right? Unfortunately, for a lot of us, we just haven't mastered opening up our willingness to that. All right, and the last one. So we've got gratitude, we've got forgiveness, and the last way to cultivate as many miracles as possible is the overarching theme of miracles, and that is to cultivate love. Love big, love hard, love strong, love every time you want to fear. Right? Gabby Bernstein, who has been such a mentor for me around miracles, she's got an amazing book called May Cause Miracles, and it's a 30-day, actually it's a 40-day run where she breaks down how to find miracles in your life. That's another good one to put on your reading board if you're a reader. But she talks about the fact that miracles, they're just there everywhere. They literally are just such a strong one. And if you're in your basic bitch, if you're being human, how you can get out of that and rebuild is through a 3-step. It's called the choose again method. So it's the same principles as finding miracles. It's we witness the thought. If we're in our yucky negativity, we witness the thought, we forgive the thought, and we choose again. So this choose again method, when you're wanting to play from a field of love, becomes your best friend, because every second that you feel yourself slide into negativity, into stress, into fear, into comparison, into judgment, into all of the things that we know are not the soul seat, are not the breeding ground for miracles, we get to do that method. We witness that shitty thought, we thank it and we forgive it, and we choose again. So when we go back, let's go back to those limiting beliefs, right? So these are the exact things that you would want to choose again on. When we're choosing again, let's make it something so full of love that fear can't possibly exist, because we know that they're two very different sides of the coin. Yeah. And I could do a whole nother thing on when people think, oh, I love my child so much, but I'm so fearful that something's going to happen to them. So I do love and fear at the same time. I'll tell you, well, that's not love, that's attachment. There's two different things there, right? But when we are so honest in our love, there is no place for fear, right? That's it, Katrina, beautiful. So when we witness our thought, let's go back to that shitty thought that we put in the start of what success, what's holding us back from success, or what we're really fearful about in this business. I want you to do Gabby's principle. We're going to witness that. We put it all out there. We got it out. I want you to forgive and I want you to thank that, because it's held space for you, right? And then what I want you to do is choose again. So simply, I want you to choose again a new belief that is so full of love that there's no space for fear. And now I could give you some really good one-liners here, but I actually just want you to tune into your intuition, into your higher being, your higher level of consciousness. And I want you to choose for yourself a new story around the success of your Juice Plus business. And you have to share it. There's no holding this one into you, because when you share it, when you speak it, when you type it, when you release it out, right, you allow space for it to come back. You can't just leave this stuff in your brain. You need to let it out. You need to write about it. You need to talk about it to anybody that'll listen, and allow space for it to receive. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes, but I want to see you guys in the comments box rewrite Choose again a new story around the success of your Juice Plus business, so full of love that there's no reason for fear. There's no space for fear there. Then I'm going to read them out. Don't Google it. You don't need to be Rob. You can do this all off the back of yourself. I love this one. I'll wait for a few more of them to pop in because I know I love that. And you know why that makes you teary? Because you're coming from your soul seat. That's the pure, that's the love. And it's the truth, right? Sometimes the truth feels more confronting than the lie, because the truth is going to have to make you move different. It's going to have to make you do things that potentially feel uncomfortable. And we all know what we'd do to stay in our comfort zone, but that is the death of all things great. How are you going? Is my internet just slow, or are you guys really struggling with finding something? I can give you some ideas. Or are you just really so deep in your fear right now that you're worrying about what other people will think? Because trust me, this is a super, super duper safe space. So I'm going to read Mel's. I can not only hold the level of business that I'm creating, I am flourishing and flying high. Which when I see you, Mel, that's exactly what you're doing. Exactly. So if there's anything else, it's coming from the fear, which isn't real. And it's just those chapters of limiting stories that we've had in the background. Bernadette, the world needs me. I love that. And I deeply believe it. My Juice Plus business is so amazing. I love it with all my heart. I love the community and the business model and the freedom that it gives me. Amazing. My vision is so big that everyone can put their own vision in and grow huge. Love it. I am worthy of finding my own feet in a way that is true to myself and my values, and to succeed in a way that feels easy and aligned to my soul. I love this. I'm inspiring women every day in my business, showing people that they are capable and leading by example. Beautiful. I am worthy of all the success this business holds space for, so that I can hold space for others to do the same. These are amazing. I am worthy of success. Very simple, very good. I can create amazing success I desire, feeling pulled to put myself out there. How can I truly make the impact I desire if I don't shine my light so damn bright? Absolutely. I am enough. I love this. And, you know, I'll be really transparent with you, Celeste, because if you've ever worked intimately with me, you know that I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I feel like in this business, social media can have a grip on my ego that I don't like. I like to just generate what feels good to me. I don't care about followers. I don't care about likes. I don't care if anybody likes my content. If my intuition is telling me to post, I will post. But what happens is it's so reactive inside the social space, and there is so much things to react to, that it's a slippery slope, right? It's a slippery slope to make sure that you're behaving the way that feels good to you. So I had this as well. And I just started telling myself a story that social media is exactly how I want it to be. I don't need to be anything different how I turn up on social media. In fact, I don't even need to turn up to social media for my business to grow. Mind blowing. The reality is that I don't. Right? If I'm cultivating miracles, I can create the most amazing team. They're going to come to me through my playgroup. They're going to come to me through my homeschooling. They're going to come through to me through the old school bloody principles that we used to do as network marketers before we turned digital marketers, right? Bronnie will be right in there with me with this. Remember, Bron, it just used to be in people's lounge rooms, in their communities, in their networks, right? If you don't want to be on social media, don't. If you want to find a relationship with social media that can create an amazing place for you to have a platform for impact, then do it your way. Because that's great too. Trust me, 95% of my business have come through social media, but in a way that feels really great for me. My business gets to feel fun, passionate, in flow, and full of love. I love that one. I want to inspire and create a healthy mindset to other people because I know how much it means to me. And I will, I would say, not I want, I will, right? Make it really strong and solid. By coming into this Juice Plus business, I have grown in development. I've given myself more self-worth, freedom of choice, and independence. I can see myself being a leader as I know I am enough to help others. Samsung, I don't know which Samsung that is, but that's amazing. That last line, that's pretty much, that would be your new power statement. I can see myself being a leader as I know I am enough to help others. Amazing. I'm worthy, I'm capable of high-level leadership, and I'm holding it through the highest lens of love. I'm capable of anything I put my mind to. And some of them are so simple, but just so real, right? Jessica, I love this. I'm not starting again. I'm re-emerging with a fresh mindset, and I'm worthy of all the amazing things to offer in this space. Okay, I just want to drop a 10 in the chat box if you have ever felt like you've had to rebuild in this business. Drop a 10. I'm dropping my own 10. Couple of 10s. You never, ever have to rebuild from nothing in this business. Never, ever. Remember what I said before? If you are trying to search for your success, your happiness, your inner peace externally, you're never going to find it. It's already in here. Your inner wisdom, your inner wealth, your inner knowledge. And we know from the second that we sign our franchise, all we ever do is expand. We're not rebuilding, we're re-emerging, right? We're re-emerging on a different frequency, ready to attract in people who are ready for us. It's such a powerful thing, trust me. But when we get into our fear mindset, when we're not cultivating miracles, when we get into our fear mindset, we want to beat ourselves up. We want to compare. We want to look behind. We want to think of all the customers or potential team that are not with us anymore, right? And we want to just think about all the things that are wrong. That's not how we re-emerge successfully. That's not how we re-emerge and create a chapter full of love. We come from a place of miracle mindset. Yeah. All right. So I don't want to overtalk. I don't want to overstay my welcome, but thank you so much for this space today, guys. Just to give you an overbrief again, cultivate those miracles, jump out of your fear mindset as often as possible, choose love as often as possible. The ways that you do that are the 2 W's. You witness, face your fear head on, and your willingness to evolve, your willingness to raise to that next level and to tap into that higher level of consciousness that truly does know the truth, right? Then from there, we cultivate through miracles 3 ways: the synchronicities, the inspiration, and the intuition, and how we just allow that to keep on breeding in our life: gratitude, forgiveness, and love, right? I can't wait to see all your miracles, 24 hours, right? Head it, allow it, hold space for it, often raise to that bar as often as you can, and your miracle will come as quickly and prevalent as you need them to. All right, big love, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and I hope you enjoy your call next Wednesday as well. Bye.